Cotie, now that you've been here for a year, you have an experience, how do you feel like your game can evolve in year 2?
Yeah, I mean, having the season that I had, and just, kind of being into the off season, kind of experiencing an off season, coming out of season, I kind of got to, study what I need to work on, and, just playing, you kind of figure out like what you need to develop your game. So I feel like, now that I've had the season, I'm going to be guarded differently. And so just kind of developing, finding ways to score differently and stuff like that. So that's kind of been my focus.
Obviously, you got some experience playing internationally. Just how did that experience kind of help you evolve your game?
Yeah, so, international ball is completely different, from the play to the style of reffing. Just everything is completely different. So I feel like, playing overseas is just like something that really helped me kind of understand the game more. And, I had to learn a lot in order to adjust to that type of play. So, it kind of helped my game extend to a different level.
Cotie, obviously enrolling early, 2 stints on the national team. Do you feel like the most experienced sophomore in America, maybe?
I mean, I've definitely experienced a lot. I don't know the most experienced, but I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot. I feel like I've seen a lot and I've done a lot in order to put me in the position that I'm in. So everything's been good. I've had a lot to learn from, which is really good.
And having been able to do all that, I mean, do you feel like you're going to be able to take a jump, not just in terms of your play, but in terms of leadership going into this season?
Yeah, for sure. Like as far as the leadership standpoint, playing with a whole bunch of different people from around the country, really, you kind of realize your role even more, whether that be being the star player or just being a leader vocally. So there's different ways I've learned my role being overseas and then being here. But each way I can kind of incorporate each role that I've had to learn. So.
Whitney, with Taylor obviously not here anymore, how do you feel like maybe you need to step up and be kind of that bucket getter even before this season?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with her being gone, I don't feel like I need to do anything extra, I guess. Just because of who we have coming in. We have some people who can score. Obviously not the 3-point like she can. I mean, I feel like she's the best 3-point shooter in the world, honestly, if you ask me. So I feel like from that standpoint, we are missing that, but I feel like we kind of piece it all together with, who we have coming in and who we still do have. And honestly, it gives, other people on the team to kind of shine in areas that they weren't able to last year because she was just such a well shooter. So I feel like I can still play my game, just score in different ways like I mentioned, but I can still play my game and count on my teammates as well to kind of incorporate themselves too.
People say when they go internationally, it's a lot more physical.
Yeah.
So how did that trip help you on the defensive side of the ball and rebounding, things that Coach McGuffin said this team needs to be good at this season?
Yeah, so it is extremely physical. You kind of you should never expect to get a call, but honestly, overseas, I expected to get some calls, and I feel like they were treating me like LeBron James out there, like seriously. But, how McGuff wants us to play is literally how we've played overseas. Just that tough mentality. Every ball is ours, no matter what the circumstance may be. So, for example, like rebounding, you got 5 people crash run, you got 1 person on your back, you got 1 person got you in a headlock, but no matter what, that ball still needs to be yours at the end of the day. So that's kind of what I learned, and that's what I'm going to incorporate here from overseas.
Cameron.
Different ways you work to improve offensive game. You said one thing was getting less starters, but not taking your aggressiveness.
Right.
How have you managed to do that this offseason? How do you balance it?
Yeah, so for me, obviously, my game was just very aggressive all the time. And, I'm never going to turn that off. But it's just like learning when to be that aggressive self and when to kind of, ease up a little bit and then, go right back into my aggressiveness. So kind of just learning, when to use my full strength and, when to use that full ability is kind of what I've been working on.
JC mentioned that with your energy, when you go, this team goes, as now you're a sophomore, but you're more like a super sophomore above. How do you feel more responsibility with this group, whether it's just keeping your energy up, doing more with the board?
Yeah, I definitely do. Having the season that I had, I feel like, a lot of the pressure is on me. And so I feel like my teammates count on me a lot more than, they would count on a sophomore usually. So I feel like kind of just making sure that even on my bad days, I kind of focus on why I'm here, and I'm not here for myself. Like, I'm here for my team, to have a good practice, to make sure everybody gets through, have fun, and at the end of the day, have a lot of energy. So.
I just wondered, in general, like you touched on like the physicality and things like that, but what was this Team USA experience like compared to some of the other ones that you've had?
Yeah, so one, it was the longest time I've been away with Team USA. We were gone for pretty much a full month. So that was definitely different, but kind of the hard work that it took to really put into this trip, more so than my first one, it kind of took a lot more out of me. Just because every day was a grind. Literally, we did not have a break. And on our breaks, we were watching film or doing rehab and stuff like that. So honestly, it was more of a mental challenge for me this time around, just because being gone for so long, and then literally it takes a toll on your body when you're doing this every single day, overseas. So it's like there's so much things that you have to adjust to, and then like we mentioned, the physicality and just the different style of play. Like, it's a whole mental game when you're overseas, just because you're learning so much and you're taking so much in. So that's kind of why I feel like it was different this time, because it was more like mentally challenging than it was physical.
And we've asked you so much about your game and how like those experiences will help you, but how does that help from the mental side? Just being more, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I can do that, and not really have a break from basketball, I can kind of do anything, as long as I'm, talking myself up and I'm there for myself mentally, and, I allow myself to kind of have those days where, sometimes I just honestly don't feel like thinking about basketball or even looking at basketball. So kind of just allowing myself to have those days, and, when it's time to be locked in, then I'm locked in.
Having some post presence, Andy.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that really pushed me upside down most is the defensive side of the game, and just how you learn in that area, and I guess what have you done?
You said my defensive game, right?
Yeah, defense.
Yeah, honestly, just kind of, learning more from like just a college basketball standpoint in general. Just because like I do have some bad habits defensively that, won't necessarily do me good in college basketball. So kind of just learning the game more and just understanding like defense as a whole more. And that's really it, honestly. Just kind of learning the game is really what's helping me defensively. So.
Any last questions for Cotie? Yep, go ahead.
How does it feel after freshman year and how the teams have seen you play?
I mean, you kind of just have to understand that, the scouting report is going to be different. I'm going to be guarded differently, but like I mentioned before, like I'm obviously going to have to find different ways to score. So kind of just to continue developing my game, offensive game, defensive game, and just little stuff like that, and just developing different ways to score and different ways to, make sure I can, play with my team as well as a whole. So.